has it worked out cheaper for you, do you think, going down this route initially compared to what the rent would be?
Private renting is out of control, isn't it?
And what about the fees side of things? Was there anything that kind of caught you out that you think, wasn't expecting that?
I don't think it's complicated at all.
Hello and welcome to Shared Ownership Unpacked. I'm Joe Bartlett, the home buyer coach, and I'm joined by Rob Horn from Southern Housing.
Hi Joe, and today's episode we're really excited about because we're actually going to get a real life story of a Southern Housing new homes resident, Roxee, who has been living now for over a year in one of our developments down in the Brighton area, Moulsecoombe, Home X, and yeah, we're just excited to hear how Roxee's story has gone with her shared ownership experience. So welcome, Roxee.
Hello, thank you.
We're actually really delighted that you've joined us today. So we're all ears.
Yeah, it's nice to get it from the other side, other point of view, isn't it really? So,
Definitely.
Yeah, amazing.
So Roxee, before we dive into it, I've asked all our other guests to give us a background on their career, but I'm not sure how relevant that would be. But maybe just a background on kind of your housing journey so far, you know, where you're living now to where you were before and things like that.
Yeah, so I used to live in London because I was doing dancing and performing arts. But then COVID hit, had a bit of change, didn't really fancy living in London anymore. My parents and family are from the south, so I moved back to Brighton, stayed with them for about a year. And I was like, can't do this anymore. And then I was walking home from work and I saw the sign for this. Saw that it was like shared ownership and stuff. So I was like, I'll give them a call, have a view. And yeah, then that was it really.
Nice,
No
the
way.
hoarding worked.
Yeah, so like really old school, you
Yes.
literally walked
I
past
actually
the
walked
sign.
past,
It
yeah.
wasn't online.
Didn't
or
even
anything
Google
like
it,
that?
nothing.
Wow.
I literally walked past it to go to Costa, funnily enough. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant. And for context, like the home that you live in, is right next door to a sort of shopping outlet,
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah,
A
it's
couple
like
of shops.
supermarket and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
That's handy.
Okay.
Ideal.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
That's actually really cool.
It is.
That you've just like seen
Old
it,
fashioned, I
called
know.
it. Now you're there.
Yeah.
I love it. And yeah, we'll probably dive into a bit more about the ins and outs of the journey, but it's nice segue into the start of your journey, I suppose. So the first section of the podcast is called Quack Attack. It's named after our mascot Quaxley, who I'm sure you've
that
seen
looks-
this. Yeah, have you seen him on our social media and things like that? Do you follow us and you've seen the big yellow duck that we have running around all over the place?
Yep.
So we've named it after him.
Aw.
And the premise of this section is we're going to ask you one kind of overarching question. We'll give you 20 seconds to try and give us as much information about that particular topic as you can. So your Quack Attack question is, talk us through the shared ownership process from start to finish in 20 seconds. Go.
So I sent an email, got an email back. There was a form to fill out, filled out the form, paid some money, and that was about it.
Collect your keys
Nailed
and
it.
move in.
Brilliant.
Oh no, and then obviously all the legal stuff.
Yeah.
But it was actually really easy, to be fair.
No
it was
way.
a lot of like back and forth emails. The forms were really clear. And then yeah, that was it.
Perfect. That's
Awesome.
20 seconds.
I think that was like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That was pretty good
Nailed
going.
it. Made it sound really easy. I mean, it is easy, right?
It is easy, to be fair.
There's
It
a
is.
little bit more to it than just signing
Yeah.
a form and moving in, I'm sure. But like, we'll dive into it, unpack it a little
Yeah.
bit more. But that was
Awesome.
a great answer.
It was.
For 20 seconds.
So when you moved back to Brighton, I'm assuming a couple of things went through your head. Like, shall I go into rented? Shall I maybe try to buy, on the open market? And then you saw the sign for shared ownership.
Yeah.
Why did you choose that route, do you think, over others?
Because obviously people probably know Brighton's probably nearly as expensive as London now to buy straight out. So that wasn't really
Wasn't
an
an
option. I like spending money, so I didn't have that much saved.
Okay.
So I sort of knew that's a bit of an easier way to get in without literally spending everything. Do you know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
sort of the reason why. I did look at a houseboat.
A house.
Then
No
I was
way,
like, I
really?
would not cope on a houseboat.
I don't think they do shared ownership on them, do they? Houseboats?
They're
Don't think
cheap
so.
though. They're really cheap
Yeah.
to buy, but you don't really get like wardrobes or anything. So
No,
I was
yeah.
like, not for me.
I think that was one of the first properties that I thought, I could live on a boat
Yeah.
apparently. But
Did you go through that stage of like cargo containers as well, where people make them into
I've
houses.
seen it,
I
yeah.
can get a
Just
cargo
like,
container.
oh, great, I can live in a cargo container. Something I'd really want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think it's hot in here, imagine living.
Yeah, imagine that. So you saw the sign for shared ownership, but did you know what shared ownership was before you saw that sign? I'm intrigued to know.
Yes, so I knew a bit about it because I had sort of looked into it before with like friends when we were renting in London. Like it was an option, but back then that's going back quite a while. It didn't seem that simple.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think maybe because I just sort of rang and it was just me doing it on my own, I could just understand it my way, and then it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
But I feel like it's more like what's the word, like legal things around it now. It seems to be a bit more backed by councils and stuff. So
Okay.
I thought, how wrong can it go?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's one of the biggest things about shared ownership. I think people aren't really given the information, in a clear way. I think if you ask the majority of first-time buyers to describe what shared ownership is, I think a lot of them may struggle.
Yeah. Or even know what it is at all.
Or even know what it is at all.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so you spoke to someone on the phone, and that was
Yeah, I went through an estate agent, so
Okay.
they sort of explained it a bit. Then I just did my own research as well, and I was like, it's better than just giving it all to a landlord. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
you give yourself back something. You invest a bit of something. So
brilliant.
And what part of that buying journey surprised you the most?
how nice the apartment was.
Okay, that's
So
good.
that was a big sway for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Obviously, I could have gone all myself buying somewhere, but toilet was hanging off the wall. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then I would have needed like loads more money to do it up, and I was like, it's done. I've not got to do anything except for buy stuff. But that's
Yeah.
the main thing that swung it for me, to be honest.
So your preference was just to be able to kind of move in and call
Yeah.
it home without having to worry about anything, any refurbishments, anything like that.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
that
like
makes a lot
all
of sense.
perfect, all clean, no damp. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you have your house and
Yeah,
it's damp,
yeah.
and I'm like,
No smells.
No
the only smell
smells.
was fresh paint.
yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And that's a nice smell.
Yeah. And
So,
it's
yeah,
it's
that
a
was
really
it.
nice, like, I've been to the homes down at HomeX, and yeah, they're really nice finishes as well, to be fair. So, oh, that's good. That's good to know
It is.
that was like the bit that surprised you most.
Yes.
No,
Not what I thought you were going to say, to be fair. So,
No?
it's completely
It's nice
thrown
that
me
it's
'cause
a good
just like, oh,
surprise.
yeah, it's a good
yeah,
surprise.
good surprises are
definitely.
always
Yeah.
welcome. The next question, you don't have to go into kind of pounds and pence and things like that, but when you were looking at the shared ownership, did you have a look at the kind of comparable properties if you were to rent them, how much the rent would be on something like that? And, has it worked out cheaper for you, do you think, going down this route initially compared to what the rent would be?
Yes, it definitely has worked out cheaper. So I work in Brighton and got a lot of friends who are renting, and similar size properties maybe, but I'd say average rent in Brighton is about £200 more a month
Okay.
than what I'm currently paying on my shared ownership
Okay.
split, if that makes sense.
And that's everything.
Okay.
That's kind of like the rent, the mortgage, everything combined is less.
Yes, yeah. So that's
Awesome.
everything. And I'd say the bills are cheaper as well,
Okay.
Yeah.
because
that's
it's
good.
obviously your shared communal, I don't know what it is, some fancy thing, but
Yeah, they're quite
Yeah.
highly like
Energy
sustainable,
efficient.
energy
Yeah.
efficient homes as well. Like
yeah,
that's
it's like
the,
a B rating, I think. B
yeah,
or an A,
it's another
so,
bonus of
yeah.
having a new build, because that's
Yeah.
we are aiming to build them to make sure they're nice and environmentally friendly and sustainable for the residents in them. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
What do you think your biggest challenge has been with shared ownership?
The biggest challenge, I think it's more the like service charges
Okay.
and the transparency around those.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there doesn't seem to be, you sort of get a breakdown obviously, but it's like a breakdown of 4 sections. But within those sections, it doesn't really say, if that makes sense, where
Okay.
it's
Okay.
going. So that
And-
would only be my.
And with, just to sort of call back to what you were saying about your friends who rent and stuff, do you find that they're renting accommodation that they also have to pay service charges in, or are they renting homes that they don't necessarily have to do that? What?
So some are renting flats and homes. Obviously, flats are a funny one because obviously there's a lot about it in the media at the moment, isn't there? Like, is it a lease, freehold? Like, what is it? But I think a lot of people who rent flats is combined in their rent, and
Right.
the owner of the flat still covers
Yeah.
if
Correct.
it's lease or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so you're not seeing. I'm just trying to understand this kind of like, one of the things we're looking at is how is service charge a downfall of shared ownership, or is it a downfall of like the leasing model and things like that, and how does that work? Is it
Yeah.
Is it a
So I
negativity
think,
around shared ownership specifically?
No, I think it would be to do
But-
with the lease because
yeah.
obviously people who have bought the full flat are having the same issue.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So,
And that's an
yeah.
important thing to remember. It's not just the shared ownership customers that are, you know,
Having
feeling
to-
the negative effects of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone with that particular lease
Mhm.
with service charge going up is going to experience it.
Yeah.
Do you experience, like, when you're talking to your friends and stuff, like,
Mhm.
do you suggest shared ownership to them? Like, it's something that you encourage them to do?
Yeah, I've got friends who've done shared ownership as well. I was going to say friendship then. Shared ownership as well. And yeah, fine. I think it's kind of the only option for a lot of people because obviously it's the way you can sort of eke out getting to a full mortgage without completely skinning yourself.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are not scared of it anymore.
With the challenge of the service charges that you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think it was about that was the biggest issue? Do you think it was the lack of knowing that it was going to go up, or the lack of knowing how much it could go up? Did you think that maybe it was capped at a certain level in line with the
Yeah.
rent, or what was your understanding when you made the initial purchase compared to what's actually happened?
Yeah, so I would have thought the way it sort of is stated in the lease, it's sort of next to the rent thing. And obviously we pay that all in one. So I would assume, that will be capped as well. That's me wrongly assuming. I've not read the lease properly. But I thought it would have had a cap,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Well, it's something that maybe needs to be clearer then, doesn't it?
Yeah,
For
definitely.
others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, it's unlikely that you're going to be the only one that's made that
Yeah.
assumption.
Yeah.
So, and would you say then that the positives of doing what you've done with shared ownership outweigh the negatives that you've experienced?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And like Southern Housing are listening to us as well.
Yeah.
So it's not as if we're just being made to pay it. It is like an open conversation. So
Okay.
That's good.
What's the process that you're following at the moment with the service charges? Are you just kind of accepting that they're going up, or is there anything you can do, anyone you can speak to, investigate it to?
yeah, so like we as all the HomeX people are doing a residents association.
Okay.
So we're sort of grouping together. So we not sort of going each one of us. It's like the whole complex is going as one.
That's good.
So we're not overwhelming Southern Housing and vice versa. So that's the way we're sort of doing it. And we just sort of want transparency and
Is that something
a
that
better
was
figure.
Is that something that was encouraged by residents, or was that encouraged by Southern Housing? Did we sort of say like it would work better if we could speak to all of you?
It was a bit of both, to be fair. So I
Okay.
think there was people in the building who have previously been involved with the Residents Association, and they were like, "This works. It's
We
the
should set
easiest
one
way.
up."
We should
Okay.
set one up." And Southern Housing are going to back us for it. So
No, that's good.
yeah,
Nice.
So it's
Okay.
good.
Okay. And what advice would you give to someone that's thinking about shared ownership, but is maybe, on the fence a little bit with it?
I think it's all to do with your financial situation. To be honest, I personally think it's better to invest your money into something that you can get back out again. So obviously, if you're renting, that's it's gone, isn't it? But I would say do it
Okay.
personally.
And you might not know the answer to this, but you've obviously been there for about 18 months now.
Yeah.
Have any of the properties sold? Have you seen, have the values gone up for them? Have they gone down? Do you know what's happened with that kind of market where you are?
So I did have mine valued just
Okay.
out of interest, and mine has gone up.
Okay. Well,
I was
that's
like, woohoo, can I have that money? They're like, no, it's well like that.
That's good though.
But it has gone up. So,
That's
and then
good.
I've only, as you said, I've only been there 18 months
Yeah.
and it has gone up quite a bit.
awesome. So
Okay.
it's more of a kind of long-term thing then. Hopefully the
Of
house,
course, yeah.
the values will continue to go up, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you could potentially look to staircase or sell, take the money out that you've built up in the
Yeah.
property and then buy something on the open market potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So before we go into our next section, which is the myth busting section, I just want to circle back to the initial quack attack. Obviously, you had 20 seconds to answer quite an in-depth question. So I just want to go into a little bit more about the process of buying the shared ownership property. So who was the first person that you had to speak to?
So it was the estate agents were the
Okay.
first people. So I think the Brighton block has a few estate agents they work with. So I just went with someone who was near where I was, which was Connells, I think.
Okay.
And then I think I went and viewed it actually before I signed anything.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. So yeah, I went and viewed it after work one day, and then they sort of gave me like a pack.
Yeah.
So there was like a pack that had like information, was like incentives and stuff of
Okay.
why to do it. And then I sort of asked like what next steps is there, and then I think that's when I got the form.
Okay.
It was like an initial form.
And the people involved then, so I'm assuming they had to do some kind of like financial check, did they?
Yeah.
Okay,
Had to do
so
that.
who was that with? Was that?
I think that was still with the estate agents.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I had all of that checked,
Fine.
and then I must have signed and put the deposit down once it was confirmed I could.
Fine. So they
Yeah.
approved your
Slimly afford it.
finances, make sure you can afford it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then everything's kind of reserved. You pay your reservation fee.
Yeah.
And then the property, is secured.
Yeah.
And then you go through the kind of buying process.
Yes.
So then you have to instruct a solicitor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What was that process like for you, dealing with the solicitors?
So I was given recommendations of 2 that specialised in shared ownership, and then I just went with the first one.
Okay.
Whoever had fair Google reviews, I just went with that.
I mean, that's what people do, though.
Yeah.
This is the real world.
Yeah.
If I was recommended, something that it's not something that I do every day. You don't buy a house
Yeah,
every day, is
exactly.
it? So that's all you can
Do
go
it,
by.
2-3 times in
Wait,
your
home
life.
buyer coach, you're not
Yeah.
buying a house every day?
No,
That was-
I'm not, unfortunately.
that was
no.
like
No.
part
I'm
of your-
helping people buy
Oh,
houses
okay.
every day.
Right, got it.
That's different.
Okay.
So now should we move on to the myth busting?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's move on to myth busting. So in this section, we're basically going to read out some statements that we've seen online, be that in articles or on social media. And we're just going to get you to share your opinion on them, really, whether it's something you experience, whether you think that is true or false. Shared ownership is more expensive than buying on the open market.
False.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's obviously open to interpretation, isn't it, an area? But for me, false,
Yeah.
where I am in Brighton.
So if you were to buy the equivalent property on the open market, I'm assuming that like monthly payments for things like the mortgage would be astronomical. The amount of deposit you'd need would be an awful lot higher.
It would be, more
Yeah.
double.
Yeah.
For you,
So,
it was like,
yeah.
that was the main driver for you, wasn't it? At the time you said, like, you didn't
Yeah.
have as much savings. So shared ownership
Yeah.
worked perfectly for you.
Yep,
Yeah, okay.
Shared ownership is more expensive than private renting.
that's definitely false. I think private renting is out of control, isn't it? Especially in certain areas. It's quite an area thing, but I'd say false.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, I suppose you've got friends that you can really
Yeah.
like see firsthand
Yeah.
example that your
Yep.
monthly costs are lower than theirs.
I suppose, the fours for renting, though, are you don't have to deal with issues like the service charges, I suppose. So although it's more expensive, the landlord's kind of taking, the ownership of the
Yeah.
service charges. So it kind of weighs up a little bit. But then you've got the insecurity that you could kind of get kicked out at any stage.
That's the
They could
problem.
put the rent up,
They
a
don't
lot
have
more.
a cap for their rent, do they? So,
Yeah, they could just pick a number and go with it,
Yeah.
can't they, really? Okay. You can't decorate or make it feel like your own. What would you say to that?
that's false. You can. The only thing you have to get permission for is if you want to knock down a wall or something.
Okay.
I haven't done that yet.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine you with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
speed dial the correct department there. Right, Roxee is gonna talk us a little bit through that then. So like, what have you done to your home to make it really feel like yours?
I haven't yet done anything. I'm not going to lie.
Okay,
I haven't had the
you're
time.
living the dream in that white wall
Yeah,
area.
I've obviously like furnished it all, so that's like enough at the moment. But I haven't got around to painting it. But you can paint.
Have you hung some pictures at least?
Oh yeah, I have done that.
There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
have done that.
I feel like
actually.
that's something
Yeah.
sometimes in rental properties you can't even do that, right?
Yeah, I know. Honestly,
They get like quite strict. Like,
really funny.
no, you cannot put blue tack on my
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some.
shoddy
like that.
paintwork that's been
Yeah.
up for okay.
I suppose that's one of the benefits of getting a new build. You don't really need to do
Do
that
anything.
much, do
This
you?
was
You know,
why
it's
I
all
got it.
clean
Yeah.
and
There you go.
Yep.
The next myth is the process is super complicated and there's lots of hidden fees. What would you say to that?
I don't think it's complicated at all. I really don't. I mean, I don't think it's any more complicated than buying a house normally or signing up to rent somewhere. I think signing up to rent somewhere is harder because you have to have like, well, when I was younger, it was like guarantors and stuff like that. So I thought it was really easy.
Yeah.
I do
I
have
was
to say.
expecting you to say that, to be
Yeah.
fair, based on the story you gave of
Yeah.
how easy your process was. So.
Yeah.
And what about the fees side of things? Was there anything that kind of caught you out that you think, wasn't expecting that?
No.
No? Good.
No, I did not in the first process at all. I only paid the deposit to hold the apartment or flat. And then, that was it. I
Okay.
didn't have any hidden fees.
Yeah, so
That's good.
that word hidden is quite crucial in that one, isn't it, really?
Let's run through the fees that you did have then. So obviously you've got your deposit that you have to pay.
Yep, paid that.
Okay.
That was minimal.
Fine. Your solicitor's bill as well, you had to pay for solicitors. Okay. The mortgage broker, did you have to pay for anything for
No,
them?
didn't have to pay for that. I got that. Oh no, I did have to pay for that. Sorry,
Yeah.
I paid quite. I think it was about £300, but it's a lifetime
Okay.
thing, so it covers you forever.
So all your future remortgages and
Yeah.
things
Oh,
like that.
nice. So if you wanted to go
Remortgages.
back and use the same person.
Yeah, or
it's-
buy some more of it, or move, or whatever, they will
They-
still do it for me.
Oh, that's great.
That's
Yeah.
good.
And then the last one of these Mythbusters is you'll never own it outright. What would you say to that?
It's not true because you can buy more of it and you can sell your share anyway.
Okay.
So
Cool.
even if you don't want to carry on with them, you can obviously sell it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You,
So you
have the
can-
option to staircase
Yeah.
and own 100%,
Yeah.
or cut your
And
losses.
it does
sell
say
them.
all that in your contract or whatever that you can buy it all. So
Yeah.
they're not shady about it. So they say, I know some some blocks you can't, but it does state it in the thing. Not
Okay.
with our complex, but other ones.
Okay.
But this one you can.
Yeah.
Because I
that's
checked
good.
that because I was like, I kind of want
And that
the
was
option.
important to you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, from a mortgage broker's perspective, a lot of lenders won't lend on a property where you can't staircase to 100%. It's quite a big bit of criteria. So yeah, definitely worth going for one that you can.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's good. And is it something that like you plan to do? Are you hopeful that you'll be able to do that, or is it, are you happy with your share as it is?
I was going to, but I'm not sure now. I don't know. I don't know if I want to stay in Brighton because obviously Brighton's so expensive. A lot of my friends live up north, so I'm like, I don't know. So I'm going to hold off. Like, you've got no time frame to do it. So I was going to do it, was it this year? No, next year, because I've had like different jobs and stuff. So I can do more, but I was like, I'm just going to wait because it doesn't make much difference.
Well, that brings us on to the final part, sadly, which is the nest egg. And I think you're perfectly placed for this question. So it's your one bit of advice to first-time buyers. What would your one bit of advice be?
Just don't think too much about it. Don't complicate it. It is what it is. You're just buying a bit of somewhere, so just do it.
Yeah, nice.
To be honest.
Do you know
I love
what? They say that buying a property or moving is one of the most stressful things you can do. So yeah,
Yeah.
just do it.
You've got to do it at
Just
some
do it.
point.
Take-
so
yeah.
Take the dive.
Just
do it.
relax.
Yeah.
And, do it properly. Yeah.
And shared
What a good
ownership, you have a
answer.
bit more support, if that makes sense. Not from people, but you're supported like in the block. So obviously, if things go wrong, you know the housing association sort of cover that. So you're a bit more secure to begin with than just buying your own place. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
While we're on that, then, I suppose anything that goes wrong with the property itself, you're liable for, are you? But they're kind of liable for the communal
It
areas. and things?
depends, yeah. So obviously, like building structurally,
Yeah.
we pay that within the service. So we cover it, but they cover it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Fine.
So yeah.
But anything internally, things like boiler or anything like that, that's kind of down to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. Got you. Awesome.
It's been really good.
It has.
It's been really nice to hear like a first-hand experience of,
Yeah.
of living in one of our homes. So do you feel like we've covered everything? There's nothing that you've been really like eager to share that we haven't managed to get today?
No, I feel like we've definitely covered everything, but obviously everyone has sort of different questions and stuff. So just to sort of do their own research or call the association or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's been really interesting, and it's good to get an insight from someone that's actually been there and done it and been through the process. I'd say one of my key takeaways from today is the importance of reading through the lease, just making sure that you completely understand everything, because I think that could catch quite a few people out. Things like the service charges and the rent and how much can it go up by.
Yeah, definitely. Another key takeaway for me is I just want to give you a little round of applause for standing up to the parents and just being like, do you know what? This is my life and this is the decision I've made. I think it's an important takeaway for people. I mean, I'm not advocating that everyone should get into sort of heated debate and argument with their parents and kind of storm out to shared ownership, but we've spoken a lot about it's a big decision, but it's your decision. It's at the end of the day, like it needs to be researched and looked at, but it's the decision that you felt was right for you. So, top marks to you for being able to do that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for joining us today,
Thank
Roxee.
you, yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed yourself and it's not
it's
been
been fun.
too much pressure.
No. But it's hot.
Yeah, it is starting to get a bit hot in here. So I'll leave it there, and we'll say if you're looking for more episodes of Shared Ownership Unpacked, please head to wherever you get your podcasts.